Hello, woman of destiny. Mind your thoughts, they form your words. Your words form your actions. Your actions forms your habit, and your habit becomes your character. Your character will definitely shape your destiny. Welcome to another episode of Woman of Destiny. Today we are looking at a woman called Abigail. She is the epitome of beauty and brains. So let's look at some of the facts about her life. Her story is found in 1 Samuel chapter 25. Now, when I say she's the epitome of beauty, let's hear what verse 3 says about her. It says that she was a sensible and a beautiful woman. And we can look at her from three different angles. One, Abigail, the wife of Nabal. Two, the Abigail, the wife of King David. And three, Abigail, the wise and beautiful woman. So here's a few facts about Abigail's life. We don't really know how she ended up as the wife of Nabal. Now, this is my own theory based on how life was back in the day. Given how wealthy Nabal was, and given how beautiful and sensible Abigail was, I doubt Nabal was her first choice or a willing choice. You know, those days, there were arranged marriages. I suspect this was one of the cases where Abigail was arranged to be married to Nabal, or given how wealthy Nabal was, she was probably used to offset family debt, because you could do that back in the day, where if you owed too much or you owed debt that you could not pay, the man could say that I will have your daughter as a wife instead of the money. So I suspect that is how Abigail ended up with Nabal. Or it could also be that it was just the wrong choice. We do that as women. Sometimes we don't ask the right questions during the dating time and we just end up with the wrong man. So Abigail could have simply found herself in the wrong relationship. Another fact about Abigail is that she was the third wife of King David. Between the two of them, they had a son called Daniel or Chileab, depending on where you're reading their story from. If you're reading it from the books of Samuel or the books of Chronicle, but they're all the same person. And the other thing also about Abigail, which I absolutely love, she was named as one of the 7 females that were named in the Bible as prophets, according to Judaism. And the final one, she was also named as one of the 4 of the most beautiful women in the world. The others are, one of the others is Esther. So if this woman was being compared to Esther, she must have been very beautiful. Now, let's get into the message itself, having discussed some facts about her life and the relationships that she was involved in. I want to read some scriptures about wisdom to you, and it's very key. It serves as a foundation to the success of Abigail. So let's hear what the Bible says. Now, Proverbs as a book does have a lot to say about wisdom and knowledge in general, but I want us to focus on one of the most popular ones in Proverbs chapter 4. So this one in Proverbs chapter 4, the King James Version says that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all you're getting, get understanding. This is what the International Standard Version says. Wisdom is utmost importance. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all your efforts, work to acquire understanding. Let's look at what the New Living Translation says. Getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do. And whatever else you do, develop good judgment. And finally, the Message version, it says, above all and before all, do this, get wisdom. Write this to the top of your list and get wisdom. Note that all of the scriptures, all of them ended, the different versions, they all ended saying that in all thy getting, whatever you do, in everything, get understanding. The reason why this is key is because knowledge and wisdom and understanding are three different things. But I'm laying the foundation for Abigail's success, so just bear with me as we go through the definitions of these different words. So, knowledge is the accumulation of facts and ideas, things that you learn or facts that you gain from experience. And it's also being aware. It's having the knowledge of, having information, having facts. It's something that you can acquire either through research, through investigation, through observation, or through experience. That is what knowledge is. Now, when it comes to wisdom, wisdom is the ability to discern and judge, which is an aspect of the knowledge that you have. So you've gained some true information, but your ability to discern and judge from the information that you have gathered and make lasting decisions or make the knowledge that you have acquired applicable to your life, that is wisdom. The ability to apply the knowledge to greater scheme of life. It is also deeper, knowing the meaning or a reason about knowing why something is the way it is, or why life is the way it is. Then we come to understanding. Understanding is the deepest level in terms of knowing and having meaningful aspects to life. Understanding is deeper and clearer perception of life, of knowledge, of wisdom. It is the insight of life and the bigger picture of how all the other things intertwine. So in summary, we can say that knowledge is just the awareness of something, and wisdom is the proper application of the knowledge that you have, and understanding is grasping the underlying nature of knowledge and the essence of wisdom. Let's talk about the levels of operations of all of these things. So you can see from the Bible quotations that I read earlier that it did not mention knowledge. It just focused on understanding and wisdom. That is because knowledge, anybody can acquire it. It's information, it's available, and you can source it anywhere. You just need to gather the facts. It's just information. So a woman of destiny needs to have wisdom and understanding, and this is what Abigail was. Let's look at the three levels. The first level is reading and getting information. The second level then is wisdom, application. And the third level is the insight, the understanding. So it's really important that we try not to stay at just level 1, but we need to go all the way to level 3 in the application of knowledge and information and understanding as we go through life. Now, let's look at some of the things that Abigail, how she executed the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding that she had. The first one I want to talk about is about how well informed Abigail was. Sometimes as Christians, we can just get so lost in the church bubble that we are not aware of other things that are going on around us. Ask people about genetics, you will get very few information. Ask people about politics, you will get very little response. Because we are so consumed by the church life and the spiritual life that we are living, sometimes we forget that there is a huge world around us that we need to have understanding of, we need to have insight into to help us succeed. Let's look at 1 Samuel 25 verse 30, how Abigail displayed her knowledge and understanding and her ability to keep up with current information. This is what she said. When the Lord has fulfilled my Lord every good thing he promised concerning him and has appointed him ruler over Israel. What was she saying there? She had been following the news, so she knew that David had been appointed and had been anointed by Samuel as king, even though he had fled and he was running away and he wasn't on the throne. Abigail knew that this is what was going on. She was keeping up with current affairs. She was listening to the news. She was following what was going on politically, nationally, internationally, and locally around her. Now, you have to appreciate that as a Christian, it's really important that you keep abreast with news. The very first kingdom and government that was established is God's kingdom. So if we are of Christ, we cannot be in this world and say that we are not bothered by governmental issues or national issues. God was bothered. The kingdom where we are from is very, very governmental. So we really need to keep abreast with what's going on around us. So having discussed her ability to keep up with current affairs and national information, let's look at her wisdom in action. Abigail knew how to form and maintain relationship. And this was her wisdom in action. The reason why I say that, if you read the narrative that is written about her and the story, it says that it was the servants in the house that informed her of what had transpired between David and Nabal. If she did not maintain a good relationship with her servants, she never would have known this information. So women of high class and high society, it's really important that we just don't keep good relationship with the people that we hang with. We need to maintain good relationships with the people that are below us as well, because sometimes they can be very useful. If you don't maintain a good relationship with them and you maltreat them, you abuse them, when harm is coming to you, they're going to just watch you fall into that trap without warning you. The other reason why I also know that Abigail was good at maintaining relationship was the relationship she had with David. Now, let's look at what she said to David when they met in verse 31. She says that, when the Lord your God has brought my Lord success, remember your servant. She was making a connection. She was laying the foundation for the next relationship. She wasn't just saying, oh, I'm the wife of a rich man and my life is good. I don't really need you or anything. No, she knew the potential of David. So she was saying that, just remember me when you're king, when you become successful. Remember, I've been good to you. Remember, I've been kind to you. And I think this is amazing because sometimes for some of us, God gives us the opportunity to come into the presence of great people. But because they are not yet in position, we don't recognize it and acknowledge it and build a relationship with them. If you wait till they are millionaires or billionaires or they're in position before you make contact with them, they don't consider you as a friend. They're not going to mind you because they know you're coming only because of what they have. So it's really important that we build relationships. And all this was the wisdom of Abigail at play, allowing her to make all these connections. Let's move on to her ability to understand. Abigail not only operated in wisdom, she also operated in understanding. So let's look at how she demonstrated that. And one of them was actually very earlier on in her conversation with David, because listen to what she said when she was speaking to David in verse 24 and 25. She says, when Abigail saw David, she quickly got off her donkey and bowed down before David with her face to the ground. She was paying obeisance. She fell at his feet and said, "Pardon your servant, my lord, and let me speak to you. Hear what your servant has to say." Verse 25. "Please pay no attention, my lord, to that wicked man." Who was that wicked man? She was referring to her husband. "Pay no attention to that wicked man. He is just like his name, and his name was Nabal, which means fool." She continues to say, "and folly goes with him. And as for me, your servant, I did not hear the man my Lord sent." See how well she played it. She's saying, my husband is dumb. He lives by his name. His name means foolish, and that's how he lives. Me, the wise woman, me, the smart one, unfortunately, when your men came, they didn't meet me. I wasn't aware. If I was aware, none of this would have happened. But the key here of her demonstrating understanding is the fact that she is bowing down to David, even though David wasn't king yet. She was speaking to David's future, the king in David. So she was saying that, me, the wise one, I did not hear it. Otherwise, this whole situation would not have exploded or escalated to the level that it's gone to. Verse 28 is the kicker. This is where the prophetess in her kicks in. It says that the Lord your God will certainly make a lasting dynasty for my Lord, because you fight the Lord's battle. You fight the Lord's battle. This woman was prophesying. Now we know that David had the legacy that God promised him, that his dynasty will always be on the throne, which gets fulfilled through him being the great-great-grandfather of our Lord Jesus Christ, that he was always going to have a son on the throne. That was God's promise to David. And this makes sense why Jewish history would say that Abigail was a prophet, because this woman was clearly prophesying. She had insight. She had understanding. So the current situation on the ground was that David was running away from Saul. And yet this woman, because of understanding, the ability to see beyond what everybody else is seeing, she was saying that your throne will be established forever. Her husband, on the other hand, Nabal, was rather short-sighted and had no insight at all. And if you listen to how he went about the whole thing, that tells you that Nabal had no insight. He didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't care about the future. He just said to David and his team, listen to what he says in verse 10. He says that, who is this David? Who is this son of Jesse? Many servants are breaking away from their masters these days. Nabal was referring to the fact that David had run away from King Saul. So all he could see was that this is a man that was working with another man and he's now fled instead of staying and serving his boss. He had no clue of the promise of God. He had no clue of what Samuel had prophesied. The man literally was just not aware of what was going on, and he was just chatting nonsense. And this is what lack of insight and lack of understanding does to a man. And by man, I don't mean man as in male. I mean man as in a human being. We need to have insight. Otherwise, we will be talking about past when God is actually talking about future. I could go on and on and on and on about that. I would just leave it at that and just say that just have insight. In fact, let me just talk about Jesus's experience. Jesus experienced the same thing. You know, like he came from Nazareth, and one of the biggest critique that Jesus got was from the people of Nazareth. And he even said to them that a prophet has no honor among his own people. Because look at what, instead of seeing him as Jesus the Messiah, the Savior, and looking towards the future, they were looking at his present and his history. Listen to what they said. They said that, is he not the carpenter's son? Because Jesus' father, Joseph, was the carpenter. And sometimes, as human beings, this is what we do. We look at people's past and we judge them by that, instead of looking at their future. And women in particular, we can be like that. The little gossip we know about somebody. Oh, she was involved in that affair. Oh, she got herself this. Oh, she did this. Oh, she did that. Well, I've got news for you. She may have done all of that, but as far as the future is concerned, she's got the promise of God on her life. So you better align yourself with that person. Otherwise, you will be going nowhere. Because what we find out is that Abigail became rather successful through the relationship that she built with David. So, woman of destiny, be an Abigail. Let the application of wisdom and knowledge and understanding be a part of your life so that you can succeed. As we can tell from Abigail's experience, it went a very long way to make her a successful woman and help her make her mark in history. So sometimes the right thing might be hard to do, but as I always say, right is right when nobody's doing it, and wrong is wrong when everybody is doing it. So be right, be a woman of destiny. Have a fruitful week.